To start off, I'm going to make a statement. If that statement is true for you, you will stand up. So if you have anything on your lap, you may want to move it so that you are ready to stand up if you are a yes. First statement, I interact with students, maybe as a teacher, administrator, professor, support staff. If you interact with students, please stand. Excellent. Nice job. Have a seat. Next statement. I have heard about the connection between physical activity and academic performance. If you have heard about that connection, excellent. Lots of standers. We love that. Next statement is, I am excited to learn more about classroom physical activity. If you are excited to learn more about classroom physical activity, stand up. Fantastic. You can go ahead and have a seat. I'm glad that there were some standers there, that you're excited to hear about it, because I'm excited to tell you about it. So let's go ahead and break this down. Active learning, kinesthetic learning, student engagement, see one, do one, teach one. These are not new concepts in education. Many teachers intrinsically offer their students opportunities for movement in the classroom. But what we now know, supported by scientific evidence, is that physical activity and movement can be used as a mechanism for student learning. The activity that we did at the beginning of this talk could be defined as classroom physical activity, with you as the students engaging in movement in an educational setting facilitated by the teacher. I like to categorize classroom physical activity in 3 types: procedural, structured, and content, to demonstrate the multiple opportunities for integration. Procedural physical activity is task-based movement determined by classroom guidelines. So if students move through the classroom to a centralized location to pick up materials or resources, that would be procedural physical activity. Structured physical activity is when the whole class engages in movement together that's not related to academic content. So if we were to do some jumping jacks or chair dips or stand and stretch together, that would be structured physical activity. Content physical activity requires a bit of advanced planning because that's movement that's linked with the academic lesson. So in an elementary classroom, this could be students who move around the room measuring objects with their ruler rather than measuring objects in their textbook while seated. In a college classroom, this could be small groups of students rotating around the room in small groups to talk about a prompt posted on a large page on walls. This is an activity we call carousel. So that's classroom physical activity in a nutshell. But let's go ahead and take a step back. We know the multiple benefits of physical activity on both physical and psychological health, and that those benefits extend to cognition and brain health. Over the last decade, there has been extensive work linking physical activity and movement to student behavior and academic performance. This includes increased concentration, on-task behavior, and improved grades and test scores. Now, that last result doesn't mean that you can have students do a few jumping jacks and then they'll ace their exams. Those results happened over 2 to 3 years of consistent classroom physical activity. We do have immediate results such that students are better able to stay on task and concentrate after periods of physical activity as compared to periods of sedentary behavior. What that means is if we were to take 5 minutes in a 60-minute period and engage students in movement, that remaining 55 minutes would be more effective and productive than the original 60 minutes of sit and get. Importantly, classroom physical activity is also linked to student engagement. Undergrad students report being more involved with the class and with course content when they have the opportunities to move. I actually had a student in an evaluation comment say, I was initially annoyed that Dr. Nicksic made me pay attention, but then I started to enjoy and appreciate it. It is, after all, harder to fall asleep in class if you have to stand up. Now that I've briefly outlined the what and why of classroom physical activity, it's important to acknowledge that there are considerations for implementation. Classroom management is critical for effective implementation, and activities must be appropriate for the learning environment. The great news is that there are many simple, easy-to-implement activities that can be adapted across content areas and modified to fit space constraints. Promoting physical activity in the classroom has the potential not only to increase academic performance of our students, a primary goal of education, but also their holistic health. So let's continue this conversation and spread knowledge and awareness about classroom physical activity at all levels of education. To conclude, please stand up, give somebody near you a high five, and say, "Great job paying attention."